So my name is Ellen Minick, and I volunteer with the Ombudsman program of Boulder County. So an ombudsman is someone who is a resident advocate, and we're talking about residents of assisted livings or long-term cares. And an advocate basically is helping a resident advocate for themselves. So we don't represent the facility, we don't represent really anything other than what the resident wants and needs. I'm responsible for 2 assisted livings in Lafayette. I visit them, well, depending upon what the need is, a couple of times a month, unless there is a resident that has a lot of needs, then I might end up going more often, meeting with families and that kind of thing. So if we get an issue from a resident, go visit the resident, let them know what our role is, ask them if they would like assistance. We don't do anything unless the resident wants our help. If they don't want our help, we listen. We can tell them what advice, but we don't take it any further than that. We encourage them to be an advocate for themselves too, what they can do themselves to help remedy a situation. And we also go to resident council. Every facility has a resident council that meets once a month, where residents discuss issues that they have. One of the facilities I see has an assisted living and a memory care. So together there's about 100 residents there. And then there's a smaller facility that just has assisted livings, and I think it has about 65. It's often the family member in the memory care side that has an issue, and if they're the power of attorney, then we're dealing with them. That doesn't mean we don't go and visit with the resident and try and get whatever information we can, even if they do have memory issues. I used to do respite care back many, many years ago with Boulder County, but with the Ombudsman program I started about 3.5 years ago. I retired from being adult speech and language pathologist. I was that for 43 years. And once I retired, I felt kind of lost, I think as many retirees do. Since I've always worked with the elderly, it was kind of a natural fit for me. I had a lot of experience in skilled nursing facilities and rehab centers in my past, so I saw the needs that residents have and that often weren't met, and that they needed an advocate. So it appealed to me because I'd seen the process before. So being an ombudsman is incredibly rewarding because you are dealing with residents that have issues. You know, they have a problem, they don't know who to turn to. It can be with a family member, it can be with staff where they're living, it can be with an outside agency, and as an ombudsman, you're really advocating for them. So the fact that we can help solve problems is just wonderful. So, and the problem, there's a whole gamut of problems. So, you know, from abuse to neglect, to family. I mean, there's just so many things that we can help, to an elevator not working. I mean, there are all kinds of, from big problems to little problems. And if nothing else, they can talk to us. So even if they don't want us to follow up, you know, they have an ear, somebody who listens to them, and we can encourage them to follow up on their own if they don't want us to do anything. The Ombudsman program intrinsically has great value. But I think as a volunteer, there were only three full-time ombudsmen in Boulder County. And really, if they had to do it all, I think the quality would decrease, the ability to go right out when somebody has an issue, that kind of thing. And the more volunteers there are, the more we can spread ourselves out, the more we can address problems quickly. I do have to say that the ombudsman, the full-time ombudsmen that Boulder County have, are fantastic. And I think one of the reasons that being a volunteer works so well is because they are a great team and a great resource. But I think by having a great volunteer network, that just makes everybody's life better, and it makes the response time to residents much quicker.